Previously on Saving Christmas, Sleigh Bells. Blip Wiry Skipperson and his elite team of Special Forces Black Ops elves were on a cocoa break when all heckerdoodles broke loose in the workshop. Unknown invaders blew up part of the workshop. Just over 24 hours until the big day and the big man's sleigh had been stolen. The team tracked the sleigh on the global present tracking system to an abandoned toy lab facility that hadn't been in use since the early 70s. Following a lead from there, they eventually found their way to an old abandoned Christmas village. Half the village had been an outpost for the workshop, with housing, stores, and jobs for the elves who lived there. The other half served as a coal mine. There the team discovered something horrible. The enemy who stole the sleigh was none other than a twisted version of themselves. Evil anti-Christmas goblins marched through the town. The team locked as many of the off-duty goblins into the cafeteria and dormitory as possible, then sent the snipers to infiltrate the mine. The rest of the team destroyed the patrol outside with a series of explosives. December 24th, 01:24 hours.
No time to waste. The survivors will be pouring in any minute. Let's move, I yelled and jogged deeper into the mine. Like heckerdoodles, there's no time, yelled Cambo. Everybody into the mine. I'm going to make us a barrier. She stood at the entrance, and we made our way in, avoiding the ribbon tripwires that we'd set. Once we were in, Cambo fired a shot up at the ceiling, then followed us in. Once she was inside and past the tripwires, she hit a detonator. A large catwalk fell down, mostly blocking the mine entrance. Perfect, said Cambo. That'll slow them down, and help block the light so they won't see the ribbon. My team and I jogged deeper into the mine. Darkness enveloped us. I didn't hear the sounds of immediate pursuit, so apparently the enemy was in enough disarray that it might take a little while, which was good. I didn't want to be caught in a cave-in or deafened again. All right, everybody, lights on. We're in deep enough that they won't be able to follow us, and we need to see where we're going. The string of Christmas lights built into my vest turned on with the push of a button. The others did the same. Suddenly the cold, dark cavern was a lot friendlier. We trudged on, deeper and deeper into the mountain. We didn't know how many tons of rock were above us, or how many enemies were pursuing us, or how many miles we'd already walked. Every now and then, when the ground was covered in old dust or coal, we'd see sleigh tracks, though. We were definitely heading the right way. At least until we came to our first fork, big enough that the sleigh could have taken the right-facing high road, or the left-facing low road, and unfortunately, there was no dust on the ground to show us the way. All right, decision time. Split up, or choose what we think is the most likely path. I looked left and right. Normally I'd keep the team together. There's safety and more chance of success as a team, but on a mission this important, making sure we get there in time might be paramount. These things have been digging a lot of tunnels, and they've kept off our radar up until now, despite their numbers. I'd wager their headquarters is underground. Let's take the low road. Since I didn't know how heavy the trouble ahead was going to be, I switched back to my staple gun. It may not have the punch of a nail gun, but I had a lot more ammo for it. My team moved in as a unit. All it took was a hand signal, and Shade turned off her lights and slipped forward ahead of the group. Longshot slipped to the back of the group, covering both our flank and preparing to use his range to cover our front at the same time. Eventually the tunnel widened into a large, black chamber. I could see something glittering in the distance, something reflecting faint twinkles from our Christmas lights. Shade tapped the radio once, and we went into defensive positions. I hear something in the room, she said quietly. I'm not sure what. There isn't much of a place to hide here. Then I heard a thud and a muffled oof from inside the cave. I'm okay, just tripped on something. Shade sounded annoyed. She never just tripped. Then, not on the radio, we heard a yelp. Shade. Come in, Shade. We could hear faint sounds, like the sound of fabric rubbing against fabric. The sound was coming from the same general direction that we'd heard Shade in. This wasn't good. I threw a hand signal telling the group to fan out. Doc and Jenny stayed near me. The other two spread out, Benji to my left and Cammy to my right. We started heading towards the sound, ready to converge on whatever it was that was making the sound. Then we heard a rustle behind us, and to the left, and to the right. I spun around, covering our rear and flank with my nail gun. Nothing was there. Nothing except a few bits of old, discarded ribbon on the ground. Ribbon worms don't burrow this deep. And we sure as heckerdoodles didn't leave any ribbon down here. I realized what it was we were facing. Heads up, everybody. We've got ribbon spiders. I looked up, and sure enough, there was a cluster of little spiders. Their gift box bodies held firmly to the ribbon webs on the roof of the cavern, with their wrapping paper tube legs. And I saw what happened to Shade. The biggest mother-stocking stuffing ribbon spider I'd ever seen was on the ceiling, wrapping up a wriggling elf-sized package with the speed and precision usually reserved for automation. Doc, you got any more medicinal rum? I yelled over my shoulder as we started firing into the group of ribbon spiders above us. Right here, she yelled and held out a vial. Cover me, I said to my team, and I ran forward, jumping over ribbon webs on the ground that I now knew to look for. A smaller ribbon spider, only about as tall as my waist, reared up out of a hole in the ground. I pumped it full of staples before I continued on. Once I got close enough, I lobbed the vial as hard and fast as I could. It splashed against the giant ribbon spider, and the creature reared back, its cardboard exoskeleton wilting. I could see ancient shreds of the original wrapping paper on its body and legs. This thing had been in this cave a very long time. The cave ceiling was now slick with hot buttered rum, and the creature was having trouble holding on. It slipped down, dangling from ribbon. It wasn't as low as I would have liked, but it was low enough that the fall wouldn't kill Shade, and that's what mattered. I switched from my staple gun to my super squirter pistol, and while the creature fumbled for a grip on its web, I switched the cartridge out for a rum cartridge. I heard a few more shots going off behind me, and the squeals of injured ribbon spiders. My team was keeping a clear path for us. With a few pumps, my super squirter was ready. I doused the spider with more rum, careful not to drench Shade's ribbon cocoon, too. Hey, Spider, I yelled. I was a geology major in college before I decided to switch to technical school. That doesn't impress the girls so much, but do you know what it does? I put away the super squirter and pulled out my staple gun. It means that I know what flint looks like, and what angle to hit it with steel to make sparks. It took me 3 shots before the sparks actually caught one of the rum-soaked ribbons on fire. The cardboard monstrosity reared back, squealing in terror. It dropped its ribbon package, and I heard Shade hit the ground, hard. Doc ran up and started cutting the ribbon off of her. I spared a glance and saw that Shade was unconscious, but still breathing. I looked back up to see that the creature's leg had caught on fire, and it was spreading. Cambo, help Doc drag Shade out of here. This whole place is lousy with cardboard and ribbon, and it could go up all at once. Everybody move out now. There's no way the enemy can traverse through here without leaving signs. They must have taken the other fork. We beat a hasty retreat, and sure enough, the fire was spreading. This cavern was not going to be a fun place to be in a few minutes.